In a world filled with things on the internet, 2 men, 1 podcast, 2 pores.
Phenomenal guest. We're excited to tell the story. Well, she's going to tell the story.
That's right.
We're not going to tell the story. She's telling the story.
We're just going to push her in that way.
Right.
Just let her go.
Right. So you're up for it. I'm up for it. You're up for it.
Can we get a cheers?
We can get a cheers, right?
To start off this wonderful episode.
Boom, boom, boom. Right? Little margarita.
Very good.
Drink it in. It always goes down smooth.
Come on.
Yes, it does. And welcome back to Indian Trail, North Carolina, in the Two Poor Podcast Studios with our special guest Heidi and my co-host James. Want to give some quick shout outs to our sponsor, Blue Diamond Pest Control. Call Jeff
Maddox.
at Blue Diamond Pest Control.
What's
for
the
all
phone
your pest
number?
Control needs. It's
That's an inside joke.
It's 704-701-0876. Or hit them up on Blue Diamond
WNBC. Yeah.
BlueDiamondPC.net.
Just tell them what happened last episode.
Yeah, I managed to say the number wrong the first time. I got it right the second time, but here, we're
He's
all
human.
about we're all about correcting our mistakes.
Right.
We said this early on. If we learn and adjust opinions or adjust viewpoints, we're going to say it.
Yeah.
Because we are human.
Yeah, we are human. And I'm glad that you're taking accountability for this. What about you? You glad he's taking accountability?
I agree. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's important.
It was it was 31 years before that happened.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm taking accountability now.
Let's go.
But no, I want to introduce our special guest, Heidi Lynn Perkins, who's with us today. She has a miracle story to tell, but is also a miracle herself. A valiant woman hailing from Connecticut. Shout out to the Yukon Huskies men's national team.
Come on, right?
And Mike, there you go, Mike White. That's just for you.
Oh,
dude.
God bless him.
The only Yukon fan I know.
Yeah.
But shout out to Connecticut. She's a former vet assistant and professional dancer. She's a loving mother of 5 and faithful wife of 13 years to Chris, who's with us today, too, in the studio.
What's up, Chris?
She's a digital creator and cancer surviving badass.
That is phenomenal.
And with all that, we welcome Heidi Lynn Perkins to the Two Poor Podcast.
Hello.
Very glad to have you here. Very glad to have you here.
Very glad. Yeah. So we got a bunch of stuff to get into, and today, as you can tell, we are not drinking bourbon.
This is not bourbon.
This is not bourbon. So this is not a bourbon margarita.
That's my fault.
No,
not your fault. No. So what we wanted to do was, with guests coming on, we want to make sure that we have something that they can gravitate to and that they like, right? And I mean, I'm a huge fan of tequila. I mean, they say food drink or whatever, but I can drink a margarita, any day of the week.
Wrap your lips around that, right?
Oh yeah.
Pause. So what we're drinking on today is Adictivo tequila, and we have 2 different ones. So the first one we're drinking is the Plata, which is in the silver category, which is kind of your basic intro level.
Right.
A lot of silver tequilas.
Agave?
Yeah, from the agave plant. So a lot of the silver tequilas are going to be straight from making it to the bottle. There's no aging process.
Okay. Got it.
So what Adictivo does, they're known for their funky bottles, the twisted glass, but one of the things that they do is they actually age the Plata or the silver 3 weeks, which, I mean, it's 3 weeks, but most of them are going straight to bottle.
Right.
So,
Is there a shelf life on these, like, how like your bourbon, it just gets better and gets better in the bottle? Like,
I don't know. That's a good question.
No, maybe we'll look into it at another time.
Yeah, exactly.
We're so close to Cinco de Mayo. I don't know how much you love Cinco de Mayo, but it's awesome, right?
Yeah.
The weather's beautiful,
I know it's normally a good weekend.
It's a good weekend, and it's nice to have some some margaritas. What's another good tequila drink? I know, a shot with an orange.
And you will be happy to know that I cut you up some orange slices.
You cut me up orange slices?
Well, you said you like tequila shots with orange.
Yeah. So you listened.
So I have.
Oh,
Heidi,
that
you
was very
listen.
nice.
I always listen to my women.
Listen.
It's how I get better.
God, he has that. This is the insecure part of him. He has to make fun of me to make himself feel better, and I'm okay with that.
Oh, okay.
Hey, he's been my brother for a long time. It's okay. Go ahead.
Robin Hood over here struck a nerve.
Continue, my son.
But anyway, so Adictivo, the company, is it's a product of Mexico, of course, under the stewardship of Guillermo Partida.
Any way that they are related to Griselda or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't have that answer. But he is a third generation tequila distiller.
Right.
And this is from the Jalisco region. So the Plata is entry level, like I said, aged 3 weeks. We can't really tell because we're not drinking it straight, but it's funny because this manufacturer and company is getting a lot of flack, right? Because most tequilas are not going to be sweet, whereas this tequila is more of a sweet touch. You know what I mean? So you get kind of the, ironically, the hints of some of the bourbons that we like.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Little vanilla, little caramel, and you don't normally get those notes from tequila.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever in my life even tried. Tried to take, when you do a shot of tequila, you're like, hey, come on, go, done. Because it's tequila,
just pounding shots.
Tequila is that freaking creeper.
Oh, yeah.
Once the devil horns come out.
Oh, see, the tequila has turned her into a scotch. All right?
Yeah, 5 or 6 of those, and then you can't remember the night before. So.
All right, well, good, man. Thanks for that information. I always love the fact that you do the research on these, man. And it's not that it takes me out of the circle of having to do the research. I'm just old school, knock the horns off of it and throw it on the plate. I want to eat. I'm just...
Yeah, well, I want you to be educated a little bit on what we're drinking.
I think it's cool. No, there's no doubt about the fact that I think it's awesome. Right? Yeah. What do you think, Heidi?
I agree. It's the best tequila I've ever had.
All right. So,
and we're going to take a shot of it later, which is their top shelf, their Extra Añejo Cristalino. That's their top shelf offering, and we're drinking kind of their entry level.
Now, so it's not a Reposado.
No.
Okay.
No. This one, the Extra Añejo Cristalino, is actually aged 7 years.
Holy moly.
And for tequila, that's like... Wow. I mean, that's something like a 18-year Eagle Rare, 17-year Eagle Rare.
We might change this Two Pour podcast to get away from bourbon and let's just go
live
to tequila.
From the Jalisco region in Mexico.
Whatever it takes.
We're going to have to edit that part out.
I think
as long as you're white, don't ever do that again. Please.
Oh my God, I'm one of the best at everything. Man. Can we get it? I'm really looking forward to hearing this young lady's story.
Yes.
I'm glad that we got in contact with each other and you and her communicated and got it done.
Yes, we did.
And I want you to know that the platform here that we have is to help educate, help people heal. Sometimes when you get to talk about something in a different light than normal or to your normal venting sources, sometimes it gives you a better kind of closure to some things, right? Or maybe and maybe acceptance towards some things. And I think that, I know that this is why Jason and I created this, because we were going through some shit, and it wasn't, and we didn't really think about everybody else, because it was in its infancy stage. Now that we're interviewing folks, we're excited to make this come full circle. So thank you for helping us achieve that. Right? So
I'm very honored to be here.
All right. Well, that's what's up. Well, look, with no more ado, because I'm the co-host, Jason Bridwell.
Why are you so sensitive with that? That was so funny. Somebody called him a co-host 15 episodes ago.
It's like
just jab.
It's like dodgeball. Ba-da-da, boy. Cotton.
Cotton.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. All right. So and Jimmy, great point. Great point. This platform, some of the topics that we're going to talk about today are tough. It's tough to talk about. It could be tough to hear, but I want you and all of us to be cognizant that there's going to be people out here who are listening to your story and they're going to be like, man, thank God. I thought I was the only one.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I'm so happy to hear her talking about that. That's so powerful. That's so uplifting. That's very cool. So, the part about this is we want to tell the complete story, right? You have the platform to go, wherever you want to go. But your life, and you've had some triumph, but you've had tragedy.
Absolutely.
And you don't get to the triumph without the tragedies.
Right.
So we want to tell the whole complete story as we normally do. And your life as a young person started off tough.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Single digit ages. Talk to us about a young Heidi growing up, family life and stuff like that. If anything ever gets too, tough, we can segue away. We can move away. But I want you to kind of break it down for us, a young Heidi growing up.
My mother wasn't around much. I would come home from school and just do what I wanted to do.
And how old are we talking about now?
9.
Yeah.
And, that was difficult. And then I had different men in my life also, which was very difficult.
As a father figure to, or not necessarily father figures, but dating your mom or
I've
boyfriends?
always wanted a father.
Okay.
The one thing I remember when I was 4 was sitting at a table, and I felt like I wasn't going to see my dad for a long time.
And this is real dad?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
When you were 4.
Yes. And it was actually my mom serving him the divorce papers.
Oh, wow.
And so I didn't see him for quite some time after that.
Okay. And was this in Connecticut?
It was.
Okay. So this is in Connecticut. Did he move away?
No, he stayed in the state for a while until I had found him. I found my uncle when I was 15 and reconnected with him. And he was still in Connecticut, but currently he's not.
Okay.
There you go.
So what about mom? So mom serves with divorce papers. Now she's single mom, raising you
Oh, no, she remarried. She's been married 7 times.
7 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of interchangeable male, figures.
Exactly.
But not necessarily a male figure that was consistent or, stepped up and did a good job.
Yeah.
I think it's truly important. This is why parenting is a 2-person thing.
I agree.
Male, strong female. Hopefully you raise strong kids.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
Not always like that, right?
Doesn't always work out like that, and understand that completely. So what about siblings? What, as you're growing up in those single digit years, moving into preteen, teenager, did you have relationships with your siblings? Were you on good terms?
No. I was sent to a boarding school when I was 16,
Okay.
a Christian boarding school. So I had religion just shoved down my throat, which
Yeah.
is not right. I was there till I was 18.
Talk to us a little bit about the boarding school, because it was interesting. We had a conversation, and I had just got through watching a show on Netflix called The Program.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I haven't seen it.
It's a 3-part series, but it's a girl who went to this school. It was about, and I'm going to make this really quick. It was about a behavior modification school.
Okay.
That's
Right.
exactly what mine
Okay.
was.
And so there's so many of these out here where, if your kid's misbehaving, they obviously have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Let's send them over to the school, and they sell them on this bill of goods of they can make them the best possible kid out there. They charge an exorbitant amount of money,
yeah.
and they're abusing the kids. They're beating the kids. It's just it's piss poor, and there's a lot of them. But so there was one of the girls who went to this school called Ivy Ridge, based in the show, The Program, and her and a whole bunch of the other kids who got out of that school tell the whole story.
That's just scary. It's scary to think about that. Scary to hear that.
Yeah.
Because of what could go on in there. So tell us about. I mean, was there any? Did you meet anybody that were important to you there? Any fellow, boardies, if you will, that were there?
There are actually a couple that I have found on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
And also some that have been to that school, that boarding school, at a different time.
So y'all had similar. Y'all had
Exactly.
You could share some stories.
And they were shut down due to abuse allegations.
Good.
And
Good.
all of us
Absolutely.
girls
I can't-
got together and helped make that happen.
Good. I'm very glad and go and I think anybody should hear that. If you're going through something that that's similar to it, shut it down.
Yeah.
Shut it down, because I'm telling you that we put a lot of faith in people, and people suck, right? We put a lot of faith in people to do the right thing and hope that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But the reality, I'll finish this part. The reality of it is, it's not what you do while people are watching. It's what you do when people aren't watching.
Exactly.
That's what makes.
point.
That's what makes someone, for me, that I'm like, I respect that man. I respect that woman
Yeah.
for what they're doing there.
Or
You know.
I don't.
Or yeah, and I
Yeah.
don't want to get ugly. I don't want to
Yeah.
get ugly right now and talk about it because it infuriates me. All right, so
Well, and I just wanted to say, throw in there just a little caveat.
okay,
Regardless of what you believe,
Right.
as far as faith,
right,
shoving it down somebody's throat,
Is-
forcing somebody that this is the only way,
Yeah.
or there's a lot of different ways you can walk. And I think that anybody doing that's doing the wrong thing because, a God or a being, regardless if it's there or not,
Right.
is a God of love,
right,
Yeah.
and acceptance, right?
Right.
Not, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Not
You do
beating-
this, you do the just.
And
the,
I don't agree with that.
Neither do
Regardless
I.
of where my faith is, or your faith, or your faith, or anybody's faith, I don't agree with that. It should not be done.
So tell me this, man, and great points with that, Bird. So tell me this. So you're you go to a boarding school till you're 18. So then on your own recognizance, can you just leave? Or do you have to have a depart? Like, is there a process that has to happen for you to leave?
No, I could have left,
Okay.
but my mother chose. I was only, oh goodness, 6 weeks from graduating high school. And she never told me that. And if she would have told me that, I would have stayed and finished. And instead, she just let me go.
Okay.
And so,
Let you go as far as
I mean, I would have had my high school diploma.
Like
if
from the place where you were at,
from the boarding school.
But
I was
she
only,
pulled you out,
I was
okay.
6 weeks from graduating.
and then she pulled you out.
Yes.
Ooh.
But I was never told that I was only 6 weeks away.
Right.
Okay.
Because then I would have stayed as much as.
And gotten the diploma. Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Okay. So when you come back, because you, for a time period in your life as a teenager, you were homeless.
Yes. My mother, when I came home, it wasn't much longer. She kicked me out and literally drove me to a homeless shelter.
Oh, wow.
Goodness gracious.
And I had gotten in a fight with somebody and got kicked out of that shelter. So then I was sleeping in bushes, hospital room bathrooms. It was very difficult.
So sorry to hear that you had to go through that. I couldn't imagine it. And and one thing that you can look in the rear view on is that you're here.
Absolutely.
You're here.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I'm stronger than ever.
Yeah. I mean, we live in near Charlotte. Charlotte's a bigger city.
Right.
There's a big homeless population in the Charlotte area. And it could be a multitude of things.
Right.
You know, they say the average American's 3 months away from being homeless.
Right.
So, but what do you, if you take yourself back to that time frame, what do you do to keep yourself strong? What do you do to keep yourself? I mean, for me, man, I look at sanity. What do you do? Where's your mind at?
Just,
You just
it's
go?
hard. It's hard to show my mother that I'm better than her and that I'm going to get through all the mental abuse that she's put me through.
Right.
Motivation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Motivation.
I think you got to grab onto something. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't necessarily have to. You could have gone the other way and let it defeat you and let it beat you and conquer.
I think so many people let that happen to themselves, and they're the people that you don't see for 10 years, 12 years. I mean, 10, 20 years can do something to somebody. You can look at somebody and be like, yeesh, what the hell happened to you?
Right.
And you could have been that person. So moving on. So when did you move down from Connecticut down here?
1997.
That's a great year. It's
It
a great
was.
year, right?
Yeah. I was 19 years old.
Good.
Okay.
Those are the good old days.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I, had kids and
Right.
stuck here.
Now,
Right.
so 19 years old, you moved down here with a significant other. You moved down here solo.
Myself.
So you just solo caught a train
Well,
southbound.
I was in a carjacking in Connecticut.
Okay.
And so I
Take a sip of that.
you might need some. So I was in a carjacking with my boyfriend, and
this was at 19.
yes,
Okay.
and he was shot 5 times.
Holy moly.
And 2 of the times he was inches away from me. So I had his blood from my forehead all the way down to my legs.
God bless.
They had ski masks on. So, and I knew that they were African American. And so I'm not racist.
Right.
And so every time I'd be walking
okay.
down the streets of Hartford, every African American that looked at me, I kept thinking, oh, is that him? Is that him?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to live like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
That's
not.
scary.
PTSD for sure.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
I mean, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Can't
And then I
imagine a
called my
situation.
mother
Right.
when, excuse me, when I was taken to the hospital,
Right.
and she wouldn't even come get me.
I was about to say, so the mom who hasn't necessarily shown a history of being there, you still felt calling her with that situation.
I mean, when you have a gun to your head and someone's saying you're gonna die tonight,
I think it shows that just the
and
strength
then
of the bond.
feeling that gun
Yeah.
in the back of your head, in the middle of your back,
Yeah. That's scary.
and your mom not being there, it's
That's rough.
yes.
So you
That's
needed
rough.
a new start.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so down to North Carolina you go. Glad you got out of that situation. Holy moly. Okay.
Yeah.
So you come down to North Carolina, 97. Come on. And what was Heidi doing down here? What was the move?
My first job was at Eckert's, where I'd met my current.
What a throwback name.
Man, nostalgia, bro.
Revco Eckert's.
How many times have we pulled up to the Eckert's and
See, you're
walked
making me
in
feel old.
and walked in and then ran out with 2 18 packs of beer and jumped in the car? Oh God, sorry about that, Eckert's. We personally put you out of business on Park Road.
And lawyers.
Bad kids.
So that was my first job, where I met my current husband.
Oh, okay.
Who I was not into at the time, by the way.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Shout out Chris.
Yeah,
But then-
hey, sometimes you got to go down these other roads to get back to where you're supposed to.
Yeah.
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 But it was funny. There was a party, July 4th.
Right.
And he asked me, just, what are you doing for July 4th? I said, I'm going to this party behind this house behind Mercy South. Mm-hmm. And he realized, holy crap, she hangs out with my circle of friends. And so, yeah.
There you go.
But that wasn't the love story.
No,
that wasn't,
he
we've been
came
together
in.
ever
He
since.
came into where I was working, and I was felt really nice, a little intoxicated, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Ooh, he's sexy," and then the rest is history.
There you go.
I hear
That's
you.
beautiful.
So when, but before that, there was multiple things. What about becoming a mother? When did you first? What was your first child?
I
How
got
old were
pregnant
you?
at 19,
Okay.
had her at 20.
So we talk about everything that you've been through up until the year of your being 19, right? All these traumatic things.
Yeah,
Then you have the baby.
Then you have a baby.
yeah.
It changes a lot of people. It's a pivotal
Should.
moment.
It should.
It absolutely should. Did that change you, and how? Like what
I was absolutely terrified
Sure.
Yeah, like we all were.
because a lot of the time, the cycle continues, and because I went through so much neglect and so much
Oof.
abuse.
Right.
And I was scared to be a mom. I didn't know if I was going to turn out like my mother and be like her, and that's not what I wanted. And so
Right.
I made sure that didn't happen, and
Good for you.
just stop that toxic cycle.
Good for you. Recognizing that, knowing, hey, what is it about a problem? First, realizing that there is a problem, right? Tell me. I know you want to say it.
What? Now you go ahead. You go right ahead.
right.
You're on it.
And you got to recognize there is a problem before you know what to do after.
Exactly.
Before you fix the problem. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
So
my mother would say, I gave birth to you. You're supposed to respect me no matter what. And I said, no, you earn respect.
right. I've got one leg over the fence on that one because, and no diss to what you're saying, but like I'm old school with that. My mom is my mom, right? And I'm from a different cloth with that. But I didn't grow up the way that you did, and I think that you've turned out to be quite well from the situation. So
I think that's important, though. I mean, because in all regards, structure. Respect authority, right? Respect your mom, respect your father, respect the police, respect the lawmakers.
Right.
But you definitely grew up with an awesome mother.
Right.
You know what I mean? She was super supportive. She always has been down to this day. She was a good mom. Now, is she perfect? No. Is any mom perfect? No. Any dad perfect? No. But it is a little bit easier, I think, when you have the situation. And this right here sounds a little bit different.
Yeah. So go ahead.
But when it's going to affect your children, like as far as my mom saying, oh, I want to be in your life, and then 2 weeks or 2 months later, I don't want to be in your life anymore.
Right.
It doesn't just affect me, it affects my children, and my
that's grandma.
children are number one. And
Right.
I grew up with abandonment issues, and I'm not going to have my children go through what I went through.
Well, good
So,
for you.
That's the important
strong.
lesson
I
there.
hate to have to cut off certain family members, but whatever's best for my children is what I do.
I think that's important, and I love that's where your mentality was back then, and probably still is now. So so let's go through this. We have the first child. You had another. You've got a couple.
I have
children, right?
5.
You have 5. That's beautiful. I have 4. I love the baby. Jason's got 3. We are. And
I used to be a baby-making machine.
We'll say he's got 4 kids, including me. He's got to take care of me every now and again. Am I right?
Well, I mean,
Right?
Ashley and I think tag team on
No,
that.
God.
We co-parent.
Yes. All right. So, Jason, I want you to kind of lead into the discussion of, where we're going here. Miracle baby, miracle, woman. So how do we get to that title? How do we get to that place? And I know that you and the lovely Heidi, y'all had a conversation and built up to it. We had a strategy call. We go over all these things, which I'm super excited for the last part. And I want you to kind of let's lead into it and let's get to the meat of it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the important thing here is that we tell a story of a lot of struggle and a lot of heartache, and there's a lot of pain, but it doesn't necessarily define you, like Ashley so greatly articulated on our last episode, that even though she had autoimmune diseases, it doesn't define her. You've been through these struggles, but it doesn't define you. You've learned from it. You became a better mother for it. And I think we all need to do that. We learn what's right, learn what's wrong, and then do better. So you now having 4 kids, you and Chris get pregnant with your 5th, and you're I mean, of course you're excited. It's a kid.
It was
or maybe
combination of
oh my God, we're doing this again.
What?
I was 42 years old.
Right. That's tough.
It's not something you plan on having a child that late in life. Not that there's anything wrong with it, because a lot of people are doing it now.
Yeah.
Actually, the percentages have gone up.
It's wild, right?
40 plus.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's almost 10% of all births now is the parents over the age of 40.
And not to talk crap to you,
crazy.
but I talk so much crap to my very good friend Curtis English, because his son was getting almost 18, and then him and his lovely wife Melissa had a baby, Beckham, who's now, just the most awesome kid ever. But I'll be like, God, you were almost there. You were almost out. What are you doing? But he loved it. He's absolutely thriving in it, and it looks like this is the same kind of thing. Continue.
Yeah. So, but you're pregnant now, right?
Yes.
You're going through. You're about midterm, right, or a little bit past midterm,
Yeah, 27.
and then you get an absolute bombshell.
I do.
Tell us about that.
I went to the hospital due to some pregnancy issues that I was concerned about, and found out I had well, they didn't tell. I was transferred, or I was. I'm sorry, you guys.
It's okay. It's okay.
I was at Matthews, Presbyterian Matthews, and they didn't tell me anything. I remember them doing a scan, and then them telling me that they're transferring me to Presby, Maine, where there's a better NICU. Thank you. And when I heard that, that was terrifying. Because I was like, what's going on? Like, are you guys going to take my baby? What's going on? With I was left completely in the dark. And then once I was transferred, I meet the oncologist, and I had an epidural while she's doing the biopsy, and told me right then and there, yeah, it's cancer.
I can't even.
Not for a second.
What do you? Yeah. What I mean. So navigating and swimming through all the fear and the anxiety and the
mind-boggling.
The mind-boggling. The just the pure shock.
You know what's funny? I didn't cry. Wow. I didn't have anxiety. I was just. I mean, I had a bit of anxiety, but I was more concerned about my baby.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I told my husband, if he has to make a choice, I want it to be the baby, because I've lived half of my life. So that's what got me through.
Wow.
So stupid question. I mean, very stupid question. I apologize for that. But was that an option of it coming down to it? Of could be you.
If something went wrong during the C-section.
Okay.
As far as.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I was a little bit okay. All right. Yeah. So what happens next? What's the course of action? I'm sure the doctors are getting together with you, Chris. What happens next?
They had recommended that I do 2 chemo treatments while I'm pregnant, which was a very, very difficult decision for me.
Yes.
I asked them what the risks were, and they said growth restriction, but they're going to do an ultrasound every week.
Right.
Okay.
And the other thing was hearing loss.
In the baby.
In the baby.
Okay.
I said, okay, well, they wanted to make sure that the cancer doesn't spread, because they don't want to take the baby before 36 weeks. So that was their concern. And so I thought about it, and I said, I'm going to take the risk, because I want to be a mom.
Sure.
I still want to be there. I want to meet my baby. I want to be there for my current children. So I had to make that tough choice.
When they found the cancer, what stage?
1-2B.
Okay.
Which I believe might be close to stage 2.
Okay. But I mean, at least the thought process on that is, okay, it's not 4.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So we got a fighting chance. Now there's a plan. Did that plan bring you more strength or more hope or more faith, that everything was going to go according to plan, or?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, going through chemo, it's basically, it's putting poison in your body. It affects not just where I had cancer, it affected a lot of other parts of my body.
Oh, wow.
So
but there's a purpose behind it, right? There's and it takes some serious cojones to just do it and say, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna do it knowing that it could affect my child, right?
Yeah,
it could affect you, but you did it.
I did it.
All right, so good, go girl on that. Let's get a cheers on that.
There you go.
You did it.
Yes.
Bang, bang. Right, we did it. Yeah, give him a shout.
So so you said it affected.
That is a good margarita. I'm just going to tell you.
It is really good.
I stray away from giving you compliments. It's my fault. I want to do better.
You're gushing right now.
I want to do better. God.
We need to hug right now.
Yeah, I want to.
Right now.
Right?
No, I've been working on my margaritas. I've been working on them. So,
ladies and gentlemen, this margarita is brought to you by the Two Pour Podcast. Go ahead.
Did you? And of course, Jimmy's got pictures of me doing the shaker, like perfect bartender. John Taffer.
He threw it over.
Taffer, bar rescue.
He threw it over his back. Did a freaking half split, and caught it. Half split.
I would tear something important if I tried to do that right now. But All right. So you said that undergoing the treatment affected other parts of your body.
It did.
So going through chemo, it's like you said, it's like poison, right? It's like you're fighting death with death. What are the implications as kind of for you, some of the stuff moving forward for you that it did affect?
I mean, I can't tell you that for a fact that it was caused by the chemo, but I was perfectly healthy before treatment.
Right.
And I've been cancer free. July 2nd will be 4 years.
All right.
So
Big applause. Big applause. Go ahead.
Right.
So every year after I was cancer free, I was diagnosed with something, autoimmune, a lot of chronic illnesses.
Okay.
Now, you told me a few of them like this, the sciatica. What's that one?
Bilateral sciatica.
Okay. What are, just to name them real quick, what are they real quick?
Rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay, I know about that.
Which is a joint condition
Sure.
which can cause like deformation
Right.
of your hands or your toes, and interstitial cystitis, which is also known as painful bladder syndrome.
Okay. God bless.
Yeah.
So you're diagnosed with these things. You're diagnosed with these things that before you did the chemo, before all this, they didn't exist, right?
Correct.
And now they're here. How do you deal with it? You know, how do you deal with it?
The only way I had to just
Look at this! What are you doing, you silly goose?
Time for the baby already?
What are you doing, you silly
sorry.
goose?
Come here.
So, well, one of the things that we were going to do is ask the question of,
Hello.
So what happened, as far as the, with the pregnancy? And so why don't you
See the way she
tell
looks?
us? Why don't you tell us the rest of the story?
I had a C-section at 36 and 1.
Yeah.
And she was tiny, like 4
Oh, goodness.
4 pounds.
Under
almost
5 pounds.
Yes, under 5. And she sounded like a goat. Her newborn cry was like, wah,
Yeah.
wah. And everyone in the C-section recovery. Oh, well, I guess she just wants to take over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say my name's Livy.
Is your name Livy? Is your name Livy? Oh, okay. Stamina big number.
Yeah, it's a bit of gibberish.
I think it's precious. So this is the miracle baby, ladies and gentlemen.
This is my
This is Livy. You singing? I think she's precious. Hey,
Sorry, y'all. I don't understand either.
listen, hey,
I think she said she wants to go in a limousine.
if you want to... Listen, I don't speak Spanish. Okay? Child, stop talking about me in that tone. Okay? Mama Goose, you little silly bird.
Yeah. All right. So, listen. So, all right. Now that we're on a happier note, talk to us about what's going on now. So, with some of the issues, right? It's kind of hurt, working for you out, and with some of the conditions you battle. So, you are working from home, but you're doing a lot of digital creation. So, talk to us a little bit about that.
I'm pretty much just doing some Facebook.
Go see Daddy.
Facebook stuff or make some money on the side because I can't be on my feet for more than 15 minutes without being in excruciating pain.
Oh, God bless. Well, you know what? That sucks. And I hate that you have to deal with that. The one thing that is awesome in today's world is that you can work from home. You can take a load off and work from home and make good money. And I mean, some people make ridiculous money doing it with and not just being influencers. We're talking about digital creators, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about star givers, right? And
it's a new world, and you and I don't necessarily understand.
No, so just explain. Before we go into the 3 questions we're about to go into, explain what star givers are in your world of digital creating.
So I'm still a little new to it.
Come on.
But Facebook only gives certain profiles the permission to be a digital creator.
And so they gave you that profile?
They did. Because I was a good girl. And then didn't post naughty stuff. And so, you just gain followers. More followers, the more money you make.
Right. So the more stars, they equate to dollars. They equate to... Good.
And I guess digital content creator is meaning you're posting things, you're
working,
posting photos, you're creating reels.
And you have to post things that that aren't going to offend people. All pretty much more.
Yeah. Well, of course, right? So
generate traffic.
Yeah. So let me tell you, folks, we're going to have her information. We're going to have her information on our social media platforms and stuff like that, so that you can follow her and see what she's got going on. And I think it's important we do this every single time we do a podcast, that we bring up this stuff, support people in your local areas, and maybe she's someone that can support, that can get some support, and really she can use it big time. I think your story thus far, I mean it. I think your story's amazing. I think that little bird that just walked in here, my youngest kids are my daughters, my twins. They're beautiful. They're 17.
Wow.
I miss that little gibberish, just don't know what's going on. I miss that so much. And to see that's your miracle baby.
My miracle.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. And no, it's okay.
No.
One thing that I didn't mention is that the whole cancer team, they told me first I was going to lose my hair. I never lost my hair. Yeah. Second, and your hair is your identity as a woman, So
great point.
I went out and bought like a $600 wig, and thank God I didn't have to use it. But now I just have a $600 wig in my closet, which I think I'm just going to donate to a cancer society.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Good idea.
And
no, look, I think it's amazing. It's amazing.
Okay.
You know that it's one of the best things ever to give back and to help, and even just if it's that $600 wig, maybe it can help some gal feel pretty, it can make her feel something. So I think it's important with that,
And at some point I want to do, something on Facebook where I'm donating money to ovarian cervical cancer research. Right.
Just to help.
And you talked about that's why you're wearing what you're wearing today.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Teal is the color for ovarian cervical cancer.
Let's go folks. Grab your teal. Charlotte Hornets, come on.
More people need to be aware.
Why are the Hornets not using that as a situation, an opportunity to generate
Maybe
awareness?
hit the Two Port podcast up, and Jason, Jimmy, and Heidi can get y'all onto the teal, man. We can maybe get a Hornet sponsor. So, all right, what we do every single episode, we have a segment that is 3 questions, okay? And the 3 questions that we have, Jason's going to do today. We don't let the guests know. And Jason and I also, when we just have him and I or no guest,
we don't let each other know
what the questions are.
Oh,
Silly.
y'all are killing me.
It's curveball.
Yeah.
We love it.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just want to let you know that we do have a sponsor that is about to sign up, and they're signing up specifically for the three question segment. I'm looking forward to talking to you about that.
Ooh,
it's exciting news. It's exciting news.
We don't want to drop it just yet, though.
No.
The paperwork has not been signed.
Hey, mate, the ink's not dry, mates. All right. So here we go.
So here's the thing about the 3 questions: is we never know where it's going to go. So let's bring a little bit of deepness to this on question number 1. We are all parents, and we all want to be better parents than our parents were before, right? We want to be the best, and we want to impart wisdom, and we want to do all these things for our kids. If you could tell your children, if you could sit them down and you're going to you're gonna go off, right? You're going, you're passing on. If you could tell them 3 things to take with them for the rest of their lives, what would it be?
You're gonna get me emotional here.
Never know where the questions are gonna go.
Gotta tell you something. It's a great question.
To stay strong,
Love that.
Absolutely.
to be there for your siblings,
Love that.
and to never give up. Never ever give up.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
Cheers for that.
Cheers for that. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
I love
beautiful.
that. God, that's
Well
amazing.
done. I'm in my feels right now. Look at my guy.
Woo!
I'm in my feels.
You're always stronger than you think you are.
Right. Great point. Great
Absolutely.
point. And I'm glad. You know what? I love realism. I love transparency.
Yeah.
To see somebody crying means that they care about something.
Absolutely.
Right? And that for me shows signs of strength, and it shows signs of experience, and not to be afraid of being vulnerable.
to
right?
to have the strength to be your authentic self.
Right.
Is the ultimate strength.
Right.
All right. So question number 2. Let's keep it deep now.
Am I gonna cry again?
Hold on.
God bless. Give us a freaking minute. All right?
Let's keep it on the deep front.
Go ahead.
Let's keep it
Go
on the
ahead.
deep front. This is a major debate in all areas of the country. If you had one choice, the mountains or the beach?
Oh, that's tough.
He's such a jerk. If you don't bring me my orange slice, I will.
The beach.
The beach. If you had to live full time.
Only where it's blue water.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So
We're not
maybe
talking
then-
about that fucking
Yeah.
Myrtle Beach brown water, baby.
This ain't East Coast mud water,
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right.
Full of
So
blood and guts. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
answer the question. You going mountains or beach?
Am I going mountains or beach?
Yeah.
Beach.
I'm going beach.
And guess what? I'm bringing sand to the beach. Come on.
I hear
Go
that.
ahead.
All right. So question number 3. If you, with all that you've been through, if you could look out there and tell the people out there, anybody who's been recently diagnosed with cancer, look at how I take care of you guys.
Look at that. Look at this. Look at this.
If you could look out there and tell anybody who's been recently diagnosed with cancer, what would you tell them?
To never give up. God has a plan for everybody. And just stay strong. And
You
deal
can do
with
this.
whatever life throws at you. You can get through it.
Wow.
I think that's beautiful. And I think the biggest thing is we all have a choice.
Right.
We all have a choice. You can
Right.
you can have a defeatist mindset,
Right.
or you can have the mindset of a conqueror.
Right.
You chose to take your news and be strong, go through it,
Yeah.
grow through what you go through.
Yeah. It's important. And
Strong.
I am
Props to you.
so excited that we got to have you on to the Two Poor podcast to interview you and to hear your story and allow you to be a part of the family, because what we're doing, we never thought too much about how far in the future we were going to do it.
Yeah.
And now it still seems so new to us because we are learning people. We're learning kind of the journalist mentality of trying to research and trying to help and trying to ask the right questions and trying to get you to a place that's both safe and to a place where it might be a hard hitting question, or it might be a hard hitting moment, or it might be a moment where you start crying.
Yeah.
Right. And that I think is important. It's really, really important. And I'm going to segue into the parting shot today. And I want everybody, we talk about the how fragile life is, and we talk about the short journeys that we have on this plane. Go ahead.
There's one other thing I forgot to say.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys.
Spit it out.
Whatever life throws at you, just for a reason.
Right. Good point.
And it's I'm sorry. I
No.
keep forgetting my words now.
No, whatever life throws at you, it's for a reason, right? There's purpose
And
behind
don't let it bring you down.
Right.
Just stay
You gotta beat it.
positive,
Yeah.
and you'll get through it.
You'll get through it. Right. I think it's a great. I think it's a great.
And stressing over something you don't have any control over.
That's a control the controllables.
That's it.
Right.
You know.
Why don't we take our parting before you actually do the parting shot?
You
why
want to
don't
take
we-
the shot?
Why don't we take our
That would make
parting
sense.
shot?
That would make sense. I'm gonna take this puppy right here.
I'm not a baby. I don't need any orange or lime.
Oh, so now she's calling me a baby.
Hey, now this right here is one of the smoothest tequilas I think you'll ever drink.
I'm looking
here's
forward
you,
to
brother.
it.
Sweet.
Here's to you, Heidi.
All right, let's go.
Drink it in. It always goes
Holy
down.
shit, that's good.
Maybe I did need an orange.
Go ahead and grab it.
Everybody's just a mess. It's not right down the wrong pipe. And listen.
Look at these kids
Oh, great.
and their first tequila shots.
Yes, I am
feel like
now
a
and
proud
then.
father.
Well, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet with the parting shot.
Very important message, though.
I think it's important to pick up the phone and call your loved ones and call the people that mean the most to you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be mom, or it doesn't have to be dad or grandmother or grandfather. But in this particular case with me, my dad's mother, Betty Jean, is now in at the hospital, and she's on her way to the next phase. And it makes me sit back and think about, did I let her down? Did I let my father down by not keeping in contact with her after he passed away and doing maybe a poor job at being a grandson? And then my uncle Steve last night talked me off the ledge, and he said you don't got to apologize for anything, young man. He was like, you got a life, you got all these things. And he said, people are going to go. We're all going to go one day. It's important to call your people and just say, hey, what's up? I love you, by the way. I love you, just so you know. Hey, just checking on you. We don't need to get up. We don't need to. This is not something where we need to go and get up, hang out, make a plan. The worst part about trying to make plans is they always mess up somehow, right? You get sick, or the kid's got something going on, or whatever like that. Now, it doesn't mean don't try to make plans, but
Being intentional.
call, and just pick up the phone and call and say, hey, how are you? I love you. I just want you to know that. I want you to know that it's very important that you hear my voice today and know that, man, I know I haven't seen you a lot, or I'm not showing up to functions because I have, work I've got a bunch of stuff that's kind of interfering, but I love you and I want you to know that. And I think it's important to do that.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
you're, just like in my situation, your life can change in a matter of seconds.
In seconds.
I think
So
anybody's.
you need to be
Right.
thankful for every day
Right.
that you wake up.
Right.
Attitude
Yes.
of gratitude.
Attitude of gratitude. Hey, listen, I want to tell you from JJ Bass, Jason Bridwell, Heidi, Lynn, Perkins, the 2-4, and Sean, Sean, baby. Okay, man, this has been a great episode. I'm so glad that you joined us. I'm glad that we got the chance to have this conversation, because the other two ladies that we interviewed, that one of them was my wife, and the other one may as well be Jason Bridwell's little sister. Like we knew them. We didn't know you.
Yeah.
So there was a little anxiety. Come on, right?
lot of anxiety.
And guess
of
what?
anxiety, right.
And just all that kind of freaking out you were doing before, and we told you to get out of there.
Yeah.
Man, you did a phenomenal job.
But you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
So subscribe.
Yes. Hey, man.
You heard it.
Right? Hey, on what platforms can they subscribe to?
Everything. Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
TikTok, YouTube, Spotify. Come on.
Come on, man. What are we even talking about here?
Hey,
right?
hey, jump on the train or you're on the tracks.
Yeah, baby. All right. Hey, look. I feel good.
Do
Said,
it,
I love
or
this
I won't
shit.
give away. I won't give away any stars on Facebook unless
Right.
you subscribe to Two-Porn
The
Podcast.
Two-Porn Podcast.
You heard it here first. Love
Great
you guys.
job. Great job.
From Heidi to from us. Love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Hey.
Thank you.
I loved it.
Oh